do think that there are many on Wall Street and in the business community who are concerned about some of the inequality that we're seeing in this country. You saw the Business Roundtable recently make a statement that that corporations need to be thinking broader than just their shareholders and thinking more about communities. So I think there is certainly some sentiment on parts of Wall Street and among business leaders that there's something going on out there that their consumers are feeling, their workers are demanding. And so some of that it doesn't surprise me. On the other hand, of course, we are hearing a lot of concern from Wall Street, in particular around Warren's positions on financial services, on big tech, and some of the other areas that she has outlined plans for.
But look, there were two big things that the Trump administration did for business that they've been pushing for and agitating for a long time. One is rolling back regulation. Two is this corporate tax cut. And it's very hard to raise taxes in this country, to get the two houses of Congress to agree on raising taxes. Is a corporate tax rate safe, even if Elizabeth Warren is elected as the president?
I think raising the corporate rate is very, very difficult for the reasons that you state. Our view is that under the most likely scenario that Warren would take office with a split Congress and including a Republican Senate. And Senator McConnell is basically telling folks in fundraisers that keeping the Senate in Republican hands is the key to a lower corporate rate. So our view is that a higher corporate rate is going to be very, very challenging, perhaps a point or two, but not much beyond. What we do focus.
Well, then on regulation, if this is something that the executive branch can control, and we've seen that happen under President Obama and now President Trump as well, what regulations could she change that would truly affect businesses nationwide?
Well, I think that is where you're going to see real dramatic change. Some of it is more industry specific. So big tech is certainly something that Warren has her sights on. Financial industry, she's very concerned about the rise of non-bank financials. And then in particular, I think you'll also see across the board more kind of corporate accountability. Her view is that the SEC and the DOJ have not been aggressive enough, and particularly going after CEOs and holding them accountable. She believes that business will only really change when they see executives do some jail time. So I think there will be a posture that will affect the market across the board. And that's our view, is that she really can do a lot with executive authority. As you mentioned, Trump and Obama did as well. And I do believe that's really where we'll see her be aggressive.
To that point, Sarah, on executive authority, if the Senate remains in Republican hands, which sector stands out as one where regulation can change direction and shape pretty quickly based purely on executive order and executive direction?
Well, certainly the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which Warren was really her idea, can do a lot, whether it's on student lending or financial services. Dodd-Frank has a lot of authority that you can put into place fairly quickly. She has talked some about fracking, and I think probably would have to moderate some. She said she wants to ban all fracking, but you certainly can do a lot very quickly with EPA and others to deal with federal lands. And certainly her antitrust, although that would take a little bit longer, she's signaled exactly where she wants to go in antitrust, starting with big tech, but then really going beyond to many industries.
We've got oil up right now. We had a guest earlier this week that suggested that oil could be hit hard by new regulations under an Elizabeth Warren presidency. But Strategas is out with a report this week suggesting that she might actually be great for Chevron and Exxon because gas prices would go up.
Well, I think that remains to be seen. Our view is on climate change, that this is not an area where Warren is sort of a long-standing expert, as she is in other areas like financials and like other regulations. So we believe that this is somewhere where she's going to have to moderate. She's taken Governor Inslee's platform, which has some very aggressive targets, and we think she will hear from organized labor on that as well, and probably have to moderate some there. But for sure, the energy sector will be very impacted by really any Democratic administration, but in particular Senator Warren.